The stars were quiet. In the vast emptiness of space, the alien fleet moved slowly, their ships glinting under distant suns. For centuries, they had studied life in the galaxy, and one rule had never failed. When a species faced danger, it hid. Every time. Every single time. But Earth was different. The fleet's sensors had detected signals from a small blue planet. Simple, weak, and yet unmistakably intelligent. The aliens expected silence, retreat, or panic. They expected humans to hide. What they did not expect was nothing. Aboard the command ship, Commander Vathrin leaned over the glowing control panels. His tentacles trembled slightly. He had studied hundreds of civilizations, and all had followed the same pattern. Fear made them vanish. Fear made them run. Fear made them powerless. Send another signal. Vathrin ordered. The human planet did not answer. Still nothing, reported his officer. No response. No movement. It is unusual. Unusual? Vathrin's voice hissed through the control room. It is impossible. Every life form hides. Every life form obeys the rules. Why do they not hide? The silence from Earth was not just absence. It was a statement. It was deliberate. On Earth, humans were busy with their lives. Cities buzzed with energy. Lights twinkled in the night. Children played in the parks. Scientists observed the skies. Farmers worked the land. Soldiers drilled. Everyone continued, unaware that alien eyes watched them, deep underground. In a secure command center, military leaders discussed the signals. The sensors had detected alien ships, massive and powerful, moving closer. Some generals argued for evacuation, for hiding, for surrender. But one man, General Harris, shook his head firmly. "We do not hide," he said simply. His voice was calm, but his eyes burned with determination. "We face them. That is what humans do." Around him, officers exchanged nervous glances. Some could not understand. How could humans face such power? The alien fleet was unlike anything Earth had ever seen. Their ships could destroy cities with a single strike. Their weapons could reach into orbit and shatter satellites. And yet, humans prepared, but they did not panic. Commander Vathrin observed everything from millions of miles away. He adjusted his sensors, trying to detect any hidden defense, any sign that humans had prepared a trap. But there was nothing. No movement. No signal. No fear. Only silence. "The humans are strange," Vathrin whispered to his officers. "This is not fear. This is not hiding. It is courage, or madness, on the planet's surface." Children pointed at strange lights in the sky. Scientists argued about meteorites, satellites, or natural phenomena. Only the leaders knew the truth. Alien ships approached. They were massive, with shadows that stretched across continents. Their arrival should have caused chaos, panic, and destruction. But humans did not hide. They did not flee. They did not scream. In the control room underground, General Harris studied the alien fleet on holographic screens. "They think we will panic. They think we will run. Let them think," he said. "We have no reason to hide. We survive because we fight. We survive because we never give up. That is what humans do." Outside, the alien fleet hovered silently above the Earth's atmosphere. Their sensors scanned the planet, searching for activity. They found cities intact, lights still glowing, no signs of evacuation. Commander Vathrin could not understand. Every species, when faced with annihilation, panicked. Every species hid. Every species surrendered. Humans did not. Hours passed. Signals were sent one after another. The humans did not answer. No surrender. No communication. Only the quiet hum of Earth's machinery and the faint buzz of life across the continents. "Vathrin," said one officer nervously, "they are ignoring us. They do not even respond. This is unprecedented." Vathrin leaned back in his chair. He could feel the tremor of uncertainty creeping into his chest. "Perhaps," he said slowly, "we have underestimated them. Perhaps humans are different." And then something unexpected happened. A small fleet of human satellites blinked on in orbit. Not weapons, not scanners. Just a pattern of light. Simple, basic, but deliberate. A signal, but not a surrender. Not a plea, a statement. We know you are here. We see you, and we are ready. The alien officers recoiled. They had never seen anything like it. Every species had fear. Every species obeyed the rules. Every species hid. Humans did not hide. Commander Vathrin stared at the blinking lights, a chill running through his limbs. He realized something dangerous, terrifying, and new. The humans were not weak. The humans were not afraid. The humans were ready to face them. For the first time in his career, Vathrin did not know what would happen next. The rules had changed. The galaxy had a new player. And the humans were not hiding. The alien fleet hung in silence, waiting. And somewhere deep underground, General Harris smiled. "We do not hide," he whispered. "We never have, and we never will." The stars were quiet, but the galaxy was about to hear the roar of humans for the first time. The alien fleet had reached Earth's orbit. Massive shadows stretched over oceans and cities. Their weapons glinted, ready to destroy with a single command. Every alien commander expected the planet to crumble, every human to panic, every life to scatter. But on Earth, life continued. In the underground command center, General Harris and his officers watched the alien fleet on their screens. Red lights blinked in the distance, signals of enemy ships ready to strike. Some officers were pale, whispering, "We cannot survive this. They will destroy everything." Harris shook his head. "We do not hide," he said again, voice steady. "We face them. That is what humans do. Panic does not save anyone. Courage does." Outside, children still played under the fading sun. Farmers continued to harvest crops. In the cities, lights shone as if nothing had changed. The humans on the surface carried on their daily lives, even as massive alien ships blocked the sky. Their calm was not ignorance. It was choice. In orbit, satellites blinked with signals. Military communications buzzed, coordinating human defenses across continents. Tanks, aircraft, and missile systems were ready. But humans did not launch attacks immediately. They waited, patiently, calmly, strategically. Commander Vathrin hovered above Earth in his flagship. His eyes scanned the planet, trying to find weakness. Every species he had studied had one flaw: fear. Every species hid, panicked, or surrendered. Every species, except humans. "They do not flee," an alien officer said nervously. "They do not hide. They are standing." "Why?" Vathrin did not answer. He could feel the uncertainty creeping into his body, a sensation he had never experienced before. The humans were unpredictable, dangerous in a way no species had been. Back on Earth, General Harris walked among his troops. Soldiers prepared their weapons. Civilians were evacuated to safe zones. But not everyone left. Teachers stayed with students. Families stayed together, even when alien ships hovered directly above their cities. "They think fear will make us weak," Harris said to his troops. "It won't. We survive because we do not run. We survive because we fight and we stand together. That is human nature." The alien fleet began to position its attack. Huge energy weapons hummed with power. The aliens believed Earth defenses would crumble under the first strike. They were wrong. Suddenly, a blinding light flashed from one of Earth's orbiting satellites. It was not a weapon. It was a signal. Alien sensors detected movement across the planet. Humans mobilizing, but not recklessly. Tanks rolled across deserts. Fighter jets streaked into the sky. Missile batteries rotated into position. Every action precise. Every movement confident. Vathrin frowned. "They're organized, but why are they calm? They're not afraid." "They never hide," the officer whispered, almost in disbelief. On the surface, General Harris stood on a small hill overlooking the city. He watched as alien energy beams swept past buildings. Citizens ran, but only to safer spots, never out of fear. Children's voices rang in the air. Humans were alive, vibrant, unbroken. "They think we will collapse under pressure," Harris said, voice low. "Let them think. Let them believe hiding is an option. It is not." The aliens fired. Massive beams of energy cut through the sky. But humans did not panic. Missile batteries intercepted shots. Fighter jets dodged strikes and countered with precise attacks. Cities shook, but humans held their ground. The alien fleet was powerful, yes, but humans were united, determined, and fearless. Commander Vathrin's tentacles trembled as he watched the humans. Every attempt to intimidate failed. Every strategy they had used against other species faltered. Humans adapted, responded, and stood firm. They fight differently, Vathrin said, almost himself. They do not flee. They do not hide. They face fear itself. Hours passed. The alien fleet was forced into cautious maneuvers. Every strike was met with resistance. Every attack challenged. For the first time in centuries, a species defied the expected pattern. Humans had no plan to surrender. Humans had no plan to hide. Humans would not bend. On the command hill, Harris looked at the sky filled with alien ships. He knew the battle would be hard, that losses were inevitable, but he also knew this. Humans were unstoppable when they refused to be afraid. They will learn, Harris whispered. They will learn that humans do not hide. They will learn that courage is not weakness. They will learn that strength comes from standing together. The alien fleet, powerful and terrifying, paused in orbit. Commander Vathrin stared at Earth, realizing something he had never imagined. The humans were not merely defending. They were making a statement. And that statement was clear. We do not hide. The stars above Earth seemed to shine a little brighter. The galaxy was watching, and humans were ready. The alien fleet had retreated slightly to orbit above the planet, puzzled. Commander Vathrin could not stop staring at Earth. Every species he had encountered followed the same pattern. Fear, retreat, surrender. Every species except humans. They are strange, whispered one officer. Their courage is unnatural. Vathrin did not answer. He had begun to doubt centuries of knowledge. He ordered his analysts to dig deeper. Every record of human history, every legend, every tale, every recorded battle. He wanted to know why humans fought differently. In the research bay, alien analysts studied holograms and archives. Battles, wars, disasters, revolutions. All humans had faced unimaginable odds and survived. They had survived floods that drowned continents, plagues that wiped out millions, empires that fell to fire and steel. And in every case, humans did not hide. They faced the danger, fought back, and learned from it. Every time they were weak, an analyst said, astonished, they became stronger. Vathrin leaned over the data streams. But why, he asked. Why do they not flee when they are afraid? Why do they not hide? The analysts searched for patterns. Some theories suggested humans were reckless. Others believed it was instinct. But the deeper they looked, the stranger it became. Humans seemed to treat fear itself as a tool, not a weakness. They could feel it, accept it, and use it to survive. Every species he had studied panicked in fear. But humans harnessed it. Fear as strength, muttered Vathrin, a chill running through his limbs. No species has ever done this before. Meanwhile, on Earth, General Harris walked through a training facility, watching young cadets and new recruits drill. None hesitated. None ran. Each soldier faced their fear head-on, knowing the enemy above was far stronger. And yet, they train with laughter, focus, and calm determination. They think the aliens will crush us, Harris told a group of soldiers. Maybe they will. But even if they do, they will not find us hiding. They will find us standing, ready and unbroken. That is what makes humans dangerous. That is what makes us unstoppable. The alien observers could not understand this. Every species relied on instinct and fear to survive. Humans seemed to follow some unknown rule, one that combined logic, courage, and emotion in ways the aliens could not predict. They are not just brave, one officer whispered. They are adaptive. They learn from every loss, every mistake. Every time they fall, they rise stronger. They do not surrender. They do not hide. They fight back differently every time. Vathrin clenches tentacles. They should have been easy prey. Their weapons are primitive. Their fleet is small. Their world is fragile. And yet, he could not finish the sentence. No words could describe the threat humans represented. In another room, alien analysts discovered stories of humans from long ago, warriors who fought entire armies with nothing but courage and ingenuity, survivors of natural disasters who rebuilt civilizations, explorers who ventured into the unknown despite near certain death. They survive because they adapt, said one analyst. They survive because they refuse to accept defeat. Every species fears failure. Humans, they embrace it and use it. Vathrin felt a chill. He had never faced a species that could turn weakness into strength, a species that could make fear itself a weapon. Every calculation he had made was wrong. Every plan to conquer, to intimidate, to destroy, useless. He looked at Earth again, the blue planet glowing softly in the darkness of space. Cities lit up like jewels, humans moving calmly below. He realized something terrifying. Humans were not just fighting to survive, they were fighting to teach the galaxy a new rule. The officer beside him asked nervously, "Commander, what do we do?" Vathrin did not answer immediately. He stared at the planet, at the living, breathing humans who had never hidden from anything. Then he whispered, almost himself, "We must learn or we will fail. Humans are different. Humans are dangerous." Back on Earth, General Harris addressed his troops. They think we are weak. They think fear will make us hide. But fear does not rule us. Courage does. Intelligence does. Hope does. And when we face the impossible, we rise. That is human history. That is human nature. As the alien fleet hovered silently above, trying to comprehend what they had just learned, humans went about their lives, preparing quietly. Every battle, every hardship, every loss in their past had built this moment. Every story, every legend, every triumph and failure. They were ready. And somewhere deep in Alien Command, Vathrin realized that the war he thought would be easy would not be easy at all. Humans were not just surviving. They were evolving fear into strategy, courage into strength, and hope into power. For the first time, the aliens were afraid, because they understood the truth. The humans did not hide. They never had, and they never would. The galaxy had never seen anything like this. The alien fleet hung above Earth like a dark cloud, their massive ships casting shadows across continents. Every commander believed this battle would be simple. The humans, small and fragile, would hide. They would surrender. They would panic. But Earth remained calm. In the underground command centers, General Harris and his officers coordinated defenses. Missiles lined the coast. Fighter jets streaked across the skies, and hidden fleets in orbit prepared to strike. Every human movement was precise, deliberate, and confident. They were ready, but not in the way the aliens expected. Commander Vathrin observed from his flagship. His tentacles twitched nervously. Alien sensors picked up movement across the planet. Human ships launching, missiles firing, defenses activating. Yet the humans did not attack recklessly. Every move was calculated, but also bold, something the aliens could not predict. "They are different," muttered an officer. "They are not fleeing. They are not hiding. They are facing us." Vathrin clenched his appendages. "Then we must strike first," he said. "Crush them quickly. Destroy their surface defenses. Break their will." The first strike erupted. Alien energy beams sliced through the skies, targeting major cities and military bases. Humans scattered, but not in fear. They moved to safer positions, activating countermeasures and launching surprise attacks. Missile batteries intercepted alien shots midair. Fighter jets dodged with incredible speed, then returned with precision strikes of their own. "Impossible!" Vathrin roared. "They should not be able to survive this." And yet, humans did. On the ground, soldiers ducked behind armored vehicles, coordinating with civilians. Engineers redirected power to damage defenses. Pilots executed maneuvers that were unconventional, unexpected, and deadly. Every alien attack was met with a counter. Every threat was neutralized or turned against the enemy. General Harris watched the battle unfold on holographic screens. He knew the aliens were powerful. He knew the cost would be high. But he also knew this. Humans were unpredictable, and unpredictability was strength. They expect us to run, he said. Let them see that we stand. Let them see that their power does not scare us. That is how humans fight. In orbit, human satellites blinked rapidly, sending signals across the fleet. Alien ships tried to anticipate human movements, but every strategy failed. Humans adapted instantly, responding to every strike in real time. Their weapons were not the most advanced, but their tactics, innovative, flexible, and daring, kept the aliens off balance. One alien destroyer fired a massive energy beam at a city. Vathrin expected annihilation, but humans had anticipated this. Drones intercepted the beam, redirecting it harmlessly into the atmosphere. The city below remained intact, its inhabitants watching, calm and alive. They are learning, one alien officer whispered, horror in their voice. Every move we make, they adapt. Every strike we attempt, they counter. Vathrin's eyes widened. They are turning fear into strategy. Every species panics when attacked. Humans fight smarter under pressure. The battle raged across skies and oceans. Small human ships weaved through massive alien cruisers, striking weak points and disappearing before the enemy could respond. On the surface, soldiers used guerrilla tactics that defied logic, ambushes, traps, coordinated diversions, all designed to confuse the aliens. Despite their superior technology, the aliens were losing the rhythm of battle. Their calculations were based on fear, on the predictable behavior of prey species. Humans had no fear, or at least, fear did not control them. Humans acted with clarity, courage, and creativity. Vathrin pounded his control panels. This cannot be. Every species has a limit. Every species flees when overpowered. Why do they not? They do not hide, said an officer quietly. They fight differently. On the ground, General Harris walked among his troops. Explosions shook the streets, but he remained calm. Soldiers and civilians followed his lead. Every human action sent a message to the alien fleet. Fear will not rule this planet. Courage, unity, and willpower would. Hours passed. The alien fleet had not expected resistance this strong. Ships were damaged. Strategies were failing. And above all, the humans were alive, standing, defiant, unbroken. For the first time, Commander Vathrin realized a terrifying truth. He had underestimated humans. They were not just surviving. They were rewriting the rules of engagement. They were unpredictable, fearless, and adaptive. They do not hide, Vathrin repeated, almost himself. And that is why we cannot win easily. They are dangerous. As the first battle ended, the alien fleet hovered, reassessing, while humans regrouped calmly on their planet. Despite losses, they were unshaken. Despite danger, they were united. And somewhere deep underground, General Harris smiled, knowing the galaxy would soon learn the same lesson he had learned long ago. Humans do not hide. They fight. They endure. They survive. The first battle had ended, but the aliens were shaken. Commander Vathrin stared at the planet below, his massive tentacles trembling. Every species he had ever faced panicked in the face of superior power. Every species had fled or hidden. Every species had failed when overpowered. Every species, except humans. On Earth, General Harris moved through the streets of a city that had just survived a strike. Buildings were damaged, fires burned, yet civilians and soldiers worked together calmly. No panic, no despair, only focus, only determination. They think fear will make us weak, Harris said to his officers. They are wrong. Humans turn fear into strength. Every challenge makes us stronger. Every danger teaches us a lesson. Meanwhile, in the alien flagship, Vathrin held a captive, a young human soldier captured during the battle. He had expected fear, trembling, or submission. Instead, the human stood straight, eyes clear, voice steady. You are different from every species we have studied, Vathrin said. Every species panics, hides, surrenders. Why do you not? The soldier's eyes met his. Because hiding never saved us. Running never worked. Every time humans face danger, we survive by standing and fighting. That is what humans do. Vathrin's tentacles trembled. He had never encountered such honesty, such courage, You are fearless, he asked. No, the soldier said simply. We feel fear. We just do not let it control us. Fear teaches us. It warns us. It drives us. But it does not stop us. That is why we fight differently. The alien officers whispered among themselves. They do not just survive, they thrive under pressure. One said, Fear is not weakness. It is power. Vathrin studied the human carefully. He realized that humans were not just brave. They were emotional, clever, and adaptive. Every decision was shaped by experience, instinct, and will. Fear, hope, anger, and love, emotions that other species often allowed to weaken them. Humans turned into strategy, into fuel, into strength. On the planet, humans rebuilt quickly. Engineers repaired damaged systems. Soldiers redistributed resources. Civilians helped one another, not out of orders, but out of understanding. Every person contributed, aware of the risk, yet unafraid. They did not fight like any species we know. Vathrin said quietly to his officers, They do not hide. They do not surrender. They fight differently. Back in the underground command center, General Harris addresses troops. They think we are weak. They think fear will make us hide. They are wrong. Humans fight with reason, courage, and heart. Fear does not rule us. Hope guides us. Every threat is an opportunity to survive, to learn, to grow. The soldier in Vathrin's hold continued to speak. You will see, Commander, every battle you fight against us, we will adapt. Every attack, every strategy you try, we will counter. You are strong, but humans survive because we never hide, because we never surrender, because we never give up. Vathrin could feel the weight of centuries of knowledge crumble. He had believed he understood all species, every tactic, every weakness, every predictable response. But humans were unpredictable. Humans were dangerous. Humans were alive in ways no alien had ever imagined. They are not just soldiers, he muttered. They are a force of nature. Every action, every choice, shaped by history, by instinct, by emotion. They do not hide. They fight differently. And that terrifies me. Outside, humans continued their preparation. Missiles were repaired, ships refueled, defenses reinforced, civilians trained, soldiers strategized. Every day, every hour, they became stronger, more united, more ready. And above, the alien fleet waited uncertain, confused, afraid. They had underestimated the species, assumed weakness where there was none. They had assumed fear would control them. But humans had no need to hide from fear. They faced it, mastered it, and used it as strength. General Harris looked at the sky, at the alien ships that hovered silently. They think they can scare us, he said softly. Let them try. They will learn, as they always do, that humans fight differently, that humans do not hide. Vathrin's mind raced. Every plan, every calculation, every expected outcome had been wrong. Humans had redefined combat, bravery, and survival in ways the galaxy had never seen. And for the first time, he realized that the humans were not just a threat. They were a revelation. They fight with heart, with hope, with fear as a weapon. Vathrin whispered to himself. They fight with everything they have, and everything we do not understand. And on Earth, humans trained, rebuilt, and prepared. For they knew the galaxy would come again, but they would face it, as they always had, because humans never hide. The alien fleet had regrouped. Ships hovered above Earth like colossal predators, ready to strike with unstoppable force. Every species in the galaxy would have panicked under this pressure. Every species would have fallen. Every species, except humans, on Earth. General Harris watched from the command center as sensors reported the damage. Cities were battered. Military bases had been destroyed. Resources were low. Fuel and ammunition were dwindling. Communications flickered under alien interference. Humans were near their limit. Some officers whispered, "This is it. We cannot survive. The aliens will win." Harris shook his head slowly. "We do not hide," he said firmly. "Even now we stand. That is what humans do. That is what has kept us alive for centuries. The first wave of alien strikes had been devastating. Entire cities were in ruin. Tens of thousands had been injured. Satellites had been destroyed, and orbital defenses severely weakened. On the battlefield, human soldiers were exhausted, outnumbered, and outgunned. Every calculated move had slowed the enemy, but had not stopped them. Commander Vathrin observed from orbit, expecting a final surrender. But humans did not falter. No city went completely dark. No fleet retreated. Even the soldiers who had survived the initial strikes moved calmly to regroup, repairing weapons, redistributing supplies, and organizing counterattacks. "They are still standing," muttered an officer. "Impossible. They should have fallen already." "They fight differently," Vathrin said quietly. "Fear does not control them. Weakness does not stop them. Humans are something else entirely." In the underground command center, Harris looked at the remaining resources. Missiles were almost gone. Fighter jets had suffered heavy losses. Armored vehicles were damaged. The situation was grim, very grim. And yet, he smiled. "They think this is our end," he whispered to his officers. "Let them think it. Humans have a way of surviving even when everything seems lost. Wait and watch." On the surface, humans moved with quiet precision. Engineers repaired missile launchers in minutes. Pilots prepared fighters for daring sorties. Soldiers formed defensive lines where none should have been possible. Civilians carried supplies and medicine to wounded, working alongside the military with calm determination. "Even now," Harris said, "we fight as one. That is what makes us human. That is why we cannot be broken." In orbit, alien scouts noticed unusual signals from human satellites. Small, fast, and coordinated, the satellites sent encrypted messages to hidden fleets that had not yet been detected. Earth's defense was far from depleted. Humans had held reserves in secret, waiting for the right moment. "They have hidden ships?" one officer asked nervously. "They were not hiding," Vathrin said, realization dawning. "They were preparing, planning, waiting for the perfect moment. Humans never hide. They wait and strike when the enemy least expects it." The alien fleet fired another barrage. Massive energy beams cut across cities. Explosions shook the streets. Humans ducked, dodged, and countered. Fighter jets weaved through alien fire, targeting weak points in the enemy formation. Missiles intercepted alien attacks midair. And then, at the perfect moment, hidden human fleets emerged from the shadows. Smaller, faster ships that had been invisible to alien sensors. They struck with precision. They attacked where the alien fleet was weakest. They moved as one, coordinated, unrelenting. Aliens scrambled, confused. Their calculated advantage crumbled under human ingenuity. Vathrin's tentacles shook. How do they survive? They are outnumbered, outgunned. They should be finished. They fight differently, an officer said quietly. Even now, when everything should be lost, they fight. On the ground, Harris addressed the soldiers. This is the moment they think will end us. Show them they are wrong. Show them what humans are. Even now we rise. Even now we fight. That is human nature. Explosions lit the sky. Fires burned and the battle reached its peak. Alien ships faltered. Missiles missed. Fighters dodged strikes. Every attack from humans was unexpected, daring, and precise. And in a moment that would be remembered for centuries, a single strike from the hidden human fleet hit the alien command ship, the flagship of the invading armada. A perfect shot, nearly impossible, but executed with courage, precision, and daring. The flagship staggered. Confusion spread across the alien fleet. They had underestimated humans. They had assumed humans would hide, surrender, or panic. And now they realized the truth. Humans did not hide. They fought. They survived. They adapted. Vathrin stared at the planet below, the humans still standing despite everything. He felt something he had never felt before. Fear. Because humans, even at their lowest, were impossible to break. And somewhere underground, General Harris smiled. The humans had survived the moment they should have lost. The galaxy would learn this lesson soon enough. Humans do not hide. They endure. They rise. And they fight. The alien fleet had retreated. For the first time in centuries, a species had defied them completely. Commander Vathrin floated above Earth, staring at the small blue planet. Humans had survived overwhelming force. Humans had endured the impossible. Humans had not hidden. "They survived," whispered one officer. "How?" "They were outnumbered, outgunned. Their world is small and fragile." Vathrin's tentacles trembled. "They are different. They fight with fear as strength. They fight with hope, with courage, with unity. We underestimated them." News of the human victory spread quickly, not only on Earth but across the galaxy. Alien civilizations who had observed the battle were stunned. Every species had assumed humans would be weak, that they would flee or surrender. But humans had stood firm, even in the face of near annihilation. "Did you see their tactics?" whispered a merchant from the neighboring star system. "They are unpredictable, fearless, unstoppable." Small alien races, who had always lived in fear of larger empires, began to whisper stories of humans. Traders, explorers, and scouts spread the tales of bravery, resilience, and unity. Humans were no longer just a planet. Humans had become a symbol, a force that refused to hide, a species that challenged the very rules of the galaxy. Back on Earth, General Harris walked among his people. Cities were damaged, resources low, but spirits were high. "They thought they could scare us," he said. "They thought fear would make us hide. But we stood. We fought, and we survived. That is human nature." Across the galaxy, alien leaders convened in secret. They had never faced a species like this before. Commander Vathrin briefed them, showing images of human soldiers, engineers, and civilians working together even after the heaviest strikes. "They do not hide," he said. "They never have. They never will. And that terrifies everyone who sees it." On distant planets, smaller species began to reconsider their alliances. If humans could face a fleet that no other species had survived, what chance did anyone else have? Fear began to spread, not of humans themselves, but of the lesson humans had taught. Courage, unity, and a refusal to hide could change everything. "They are a warning," said an alien diplomat quietly. "We can fight them. We can conquer them. But the fear they inspire, it spreads faster than any weapon." Back on Earth, humans repaired, rebuilt, and trained. They knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy had learned about them, and some would try again. But humanity was ready. General Harris addressed a gathering of soldiers and civilians. "They think this ends with survival. It does not. We will face them again and again if we must. And each time we will show the same truth. Humans do not hide. Humans endure. Humans rise." Above Earth, alien fleets regrouped. Commander Vathrin floated silently, aware that the galaxy's rules had changed. Every species that had once ruled through fear now knew there was one species they could not predict, one species that would not run. "They fight differently," Vathrin said softly, almost in awe. "And that difference is the future." News of humans' resilience spread through stories, songs, and messages. From the farthest reaches of the galaxy, whispers traveled. The humans do not hide. The humans survive. The humans endure. Even species that had never seen Earth began to fear humans, not for conquest, not for domination, but for the sheer idea that fear was no longer the ultimate weapon. Humans, however, continued their lives. They rebuilt cities, trained new soldiers, educated their children, and explored new technology. Every victory, every small success, strengthened them further. They had faced death and destruction, and emerged unbroken. And somewhere deep in the alien command networks, Vathrin repeated the warning to every fleet under his control. Do not underestimate them. Do not assume fear will control them. Humans do not hide. Humans do not surrender. Humans fight differently, and that is something no empire can ignore. For the first time, humans were more than a planet. They were a symbol, a lesson, a force that inspired fear, respect, and awe across the galaxy. The stars above Earth seemed to shine a little brighter, as if acknowledging the rise of a species unlike any other. Humans had faced annihilation and survived. Humans had endured when all seemed lost. Humans had shown the galaxy a new rule. Do not hide. Stand. Fight. Survive. And the galaxy listened. The galaxy had changed. No one could deny it. Humans had survived attacks that would have destroyed entire civilizations. Humans had endured battles that every species had feared. Humans had done the impossible. They had faced overwhelming power and had not hidden. In the distant alien capitals, leaders met in secret. The reports of Earth were undeniable. Every strategy, every weapon, every calculation had failed to predict human behavior. Every attempt to intimidate or overpower them had been countered with courage, intelligence, and unity. "They do not hide," said one alien commander quietly. "Every species obeys fear. Every species flees. But humans face fear and turn it into power." "Yes," agreed another, "they have rewritten the rules. Every species must understand this. No one can assume humans will run. No one can assume humans will surrender." Back on Earth, General Harris stood on a hill overlooking a rebuilt city. The skies were clear, the cities alive with energy, the people resilient and strong. "They thought fear could control us," he said softly. "They were wrong. They always were wrong. And the galaxy has learned that lesson now." Across the stars, alien fleets recalculated, reassessed, and reconsidered their strategies. The old rules of engagement no longer applied. The balance of power in the galaxy had shifted, not because humans conquered, but because humans would not hide. They would stand. They would fight. They would endure. Commander Vathrin, once confident and sure, now sat silently on his command bridge. The humans had changed everything. He could not predict them, could not intimidate them, could not assume victory. And for the first time, he understood something terrifying. Humans did not need to conquer to be a force. Their very existence was a statement. "They fight differently," Vathrin whispered to his officers. "They survive differently. And that changes everything." Across the galaxy, smaller species whispered stories of the humans who did not hide. Traders told tales of their courage. Soldiers spoke of their tactics, and leaders reconsidered their alliances. Fear of humans spread, not as hatred, but as respect. Fear of a species that refused to bend to the rules of the universe. On Earth, humans rebuilt faster than any alien fleet could imagine. Education, technology, and defense advanced simultaneously. Every action was deliberate, every decision strategic. And through it all, humans remained united, resilient, and fearless. "They do not hide," Harris repeated to himself, watching a group of children play under the sun. "And they never will." Alien historians began to write of humans differently, not as weak creatures of a small planet, but as a species that defied expectation, that turned fear into strength, and that changed the course of the galaxy without firing a single weapon of mass destruction. Commander Vathrin knew that the old rules no longer applied. Every species would now respect, fear, and account for humans. The galaxy had learned a new law, one that could not be ignored. And somewhere in the corridors of power across alien worlds, a simple truth spread. If humans are involved, hiding is useless. Back on Earth, Harris addresses people. Soldiers, civilians, and scientists stood together. The sky was clear, the city alive, and the humans were ready. "We do not hide," he said. "We never have. We never will. And the galaxy knows it now." The alien fleets had retreated, but their lessons remained. Humans had survived the impossible, endured the unbeatable, and stood when all others would have fallen. They had not conquered through fear or domination. They had conquered through courage, unity, and the refusal to hide. Commander Vathrin looked at the stars, realizing that the galaxy would never be the same. Humans had set a new standard, a new rule. The universe had learned that a species that does not hide cannot be controlled, cannot be predicted, cannot be beaten easily. Humans had changed the galaxy forever. And deep underground, in a quiet room on Earth, General Harris smiled. He knew the truth that every alien commander would soon learn. They did not survive by hiding. They survived by standing. They survived by fighting. They survived by being human. The stars seemed brighter that night, not because of their light, but because humanity had shown the galaxy a new kind of power. The power to endure, to rise, and to never hide. And the galaxy listened.